is 36, the podcast. Podcast. 36, the podcast. And this is 36, the podcast.
What's up, Fairbanks? What's up, Fairbanks, North Star Borough? My name is Tilden.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Alexis.
And this is 36 Podcast. Welcome back to 36 Podcast, coming to you right here at the Hoodoo Brewery Studios in Fairbanks, Alaska. Today's episode is all about grit, creativity, and building something unique in one of the toughest environments to run a business. We're sitting down with Randy Bezdek, the owner of Hungry Robot Pizza, a spot that's become a local favorite for its bold identity and seriously dialed in pizza. Randy's story isn't just about food, it's about taking a vision, betting on yourself, and making it work in a place where nothing comes easy. From the origin of Hungry Robot name to the realities of running a restaurant in Alaska, this is a conversation about hustle, community, and doing things your own way. Let's get into it. Randy Bezdek, thank you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, well, I know that you're a busy person. I know as the summer starts to wind up, you guys are probably going to be slinging a lot of pies, right?
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. However, before we get into the meat and potatoes, as we do always, we're going to take a little taste test of today's cask, brought to you by Bobby and the Mad Scientist back in the back. So, today's tap is, let me see here. Let me pull up my photo again. Today's tap is a rice lager conditioned on pineapple juice and 2 chopped jalapenos.
Oh.
Conditioned on pineapple juice and 2 chopped jalapenos. So, let's give it a taste. But before we even get into it, okay, so like I said before, previous episodes, you don't necessarily have to drink 36 ounces of beer. Hoodoo has many non-alcoholic options if you're not into beer. So, and if you ever are a guest host or a guest on the podcast, don't feel pressured into drinking beer. You don't have to. Such as the case with our guest host, Sergeant First Class Alexis James. And Alexis James, Sergeant First Class, she's actually out of HHC, 1st Brigade, 11th Airborne Division, correct?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not actually. So I used to be part of 111.
Okay.
And now I am currently with the 11th Airborne Division.
Oh, okay. What did I say?
111. That's one of our brigades that we have that's nested within the 11th Airborne Division.
Oh, so you're not with the 1st Brigade?
No. So I'm with the division that's
Oh,
above the
you're at the
brigade.
division level.
Yes, division.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason that you were with 1st Brigade.
No, not
Okay,
anymore.
okay.
I used to be.
Okay, I got you. So my apologies. So Sergeant First Class Alexis James, she is with the 11th Airborne Division. And
Yes.
what do you do again?
I am the Innovations and COIC, so we handle just all of the different projects that are going on for Fort Wainwright as well as JBEC.
Okay, so you're in the know for all the new stuff that the soldiers get to play with up here in the Arctic.
Yes.
Okay, so we are actually going to have Sergeant First Class James on a show up her very own. However, we had to get the questions vetted through public affairs, and so they haven't given us the thumbs up yet. But when we get the thumbs up from public affairs, you can expect for us to sit down with the conversation with Sergeant First Class James and talk about what she does in her role as the Innovations NCOIC.
Yes.
So, and she is filling in for Brandon. Brandon, he had to work today. So he's no longer, well, he's not doing the hockey dad thing. He's actually doing the overtime. Let's get people's heating and ventilation systems fixed on a Saturday. So that's what he's doing today. So in his absence, we have Sergeant First Class James sitting in. And if you guys haven't realized it, this is a special episode right here. For the first time on 36 Podcast, we have all of our hosts are vets. So I served from I retired in 2008. Jeff, when did you serve?
2008 to 18.
2008 to 18. And Sergeant First Class James, what's your current tour of duty?
So I am on my 15th, going on 16th year.
Okay, all right.
And so at least 4 more years.
All right. So, Randy, did you do any time or?
Yep. 95 to 2003.
Oh, so we're all vets.
Absolutely. That's great.
Oh, okay. Well, look at there. So, look here. You have all 4 of us, including the guests. We're all vets. And so, which part of the service did you serve in, sir?
Oh, I was in the Air Guard.
Oh,
So
Air Guard?
It was pretty slack.
Okay, well, look here. If I could do it all over again, I would have waited the year they told me I had to wait to come in order to go Air Force. But, I'm glad I did what I mean, because everything happens for a reason. All right, but on that note, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little sippy sip of the of today's tap here and just give you my impressions of it. Oh, those jalapenos really pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could taste those jalapenos.
Could have got about 1 half.
Yeah. And it's a crisp beer too. It's nice and crisp, and you got that little jalapeno flavor. Randy, do you have any thoughts, any input on what you think about today's pour?
I don't drink a lot of beer, so it tastes good.
Okay.
I definitely get the jalapeno hit, and I'm kind of a wimp.
Oh, okay, all right. Jeff, what you thinking?
Well, it's what I expected for a lager.
Okay.
Like I said, a little less jalapeno would help.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Now, so did you take
Is
a little
it-
sip of it?
I did not. I smelt it.
Okay,
I
you
didn't-
smelt.
I
Okay,
didn't-
and so.
I didn't really get the hints of the jalapeno when I smelt it, though.
Okay, all right, yeah. So there's a little kick of jalapeno in there. Definitely. Now, so going back to the whole 36 podcast thing, you don't necessarily have to drink beer. There are other options for you at Hoodoo. Hot water, and I think Sergeant First Class James, Alexis,
Yes.
you're doing what?
We have root beer. We have 2 different kinds here. One is a Moose's Tooth root beer, and the other one is a Frontier White Birch beer.
Okay, yeah. So I've heard a lot of good things. So when my grandkids come up here to visit me in the summers, and I bring them here, they really love that Moose's Tooth root beer
Yes,
right there. I've
that's
heard a
my
lot of good
favorite.
things about the root beer.
It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, kudos to Bobby and his mad scientist back in the back. If you are down here today, hopefully, and this is Saturday, of April, the 20, what's the date today?
24?
25th.
Okay, if you're down at Hoodoo today on the 25th of April, 2026, hopefully you've had a chance to enjoy today's tap. On that note, we're going to get into the questions that we have prepared for Randy and the Hungry Robot. Let me go ahead and pull this screen up again, and let's get into these questions. Randy, sir, you ready?
Sure.
All right, so let me switch my cameras and everything over, make sure everything is good to go. All right, so what's the origin story behind Hungry Robot Pizza, and where did the name come from?
Okay, so I'll go back a little bit more. I worked out at Wainwright as an IT guy for the Department of Public Works for probably close to 20 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I was kind of getting burned out on it because, it'd be sunny out and you're watching progress bars. It just kind of killed me to do that. So I decided I wanted to do something different. So we started doing popsicles and homemade marshmallows at the farmer's market under a business named Sugar Monkey.
Yep.
And so we did that for a few years, and I was like, selling sweets is hard, because not everybody wants to eat sugar all the time. So I'm like, I got to figure something else out. So my wife and I talked, and we ended up deciding on doing wood-fired pizza, because at that point there was only Alaska Coffee Roasters that were doing it, and they were going a different route than what we wanted to. We wanted to do something more like what we're doing, strange toppings, to flavors people don't really get often, and they were going kind of more traditional. So we were like, okay, let's get a wood-fired oven. We bought the oven, and then when the oven came in, trying to come up with a name, the oven reminded me of a robot head because it's all metal and has the rivets exposed on it and everything. So we feed it pizza and firewood all day long, and it always keeps eating. So it was like a hungry robot.
Nice.
So we just kind of like, it's like a hungry robot. You're always feeding it, and it's never happy.
All right. Brilliant. Okay.
Okay. So what made you decide to open a pizza spot here? It's kind of like one of the first one. What made you decide to open a pizza spot here in Fairbanks specifically?
Well, I was born here, so I've been here almost my whole life. We moved away for a few years when I was in grade school, and then we came back. And so we came back when I was in 6th grade, so that would have been like 85 or something. I'm kind of old. But pretty much trying to figure out how to get out of my 9-to-5 job, and the pizza, I ended up loving it. I love doing it. It's one of the best things I've ever done. It's tons of fun. So we ended up just deciding we were going to do it at the market at first, see how it went, and Fairbanks loved us, so we ended up just going full time.
Awesome. Good deal. All right.
Great. All right. So we kind of already touched on this topic a little bit about what you were doing before with DPW and the path that led you into the pizza business. So I'd like to ask, what gave you the idea for the addition of the gluten-free pizza crust?
Oh boy, you get a lot of requests from customers. Some of them you're kind of like, I don't know if that'd fly. But we have friends. Well, at the time, one of them worked for us, and she was like deathly allergic to everything. I mean, like she couldn't eat off of paper plates because they use a corn wax on them.
Okay.
And that would trigger things. So I was like, people like that don't have anywhere they can go. And I mean, at the time there was nothing. Now there's like Little Owl and Cafe.
Stir it up.
Stir it up.
Stir it up.
Which both specialize in that kind of thing. But at the time, there wasn't really anything. So we're like, okay, let's try to figure out gluten-free. And I was never, like we were talking earlier, I was never happy with the commercial gluten-free pizza.
Yes.
They taste like cardboard. They look flat and gross. I'm just like, dude, I don't like these. So for years, I kind of fought it. But people kept asking. We tried cauliflower crusts, but our ovens run hot enough that if I put a cauliflower crust, somebody brought me one, and I put it in the oven, and within 10 seconds, it was ash, just ash. Not even,
wow.
I put the peel under it to turn it,
Yeah.
and it just fell apart. I'm like, well, those aren't an option, because 10 seconds isn't long enough for cheese to even melt. You know, it's like, well, that's just not going to work. So we finally came across a blend that we can make, and we've been pretty happy with it. It's a yeasted dough, so it actually behaves like regular pizza dough when you're eating it. It gets a nice airy crust, and then it's harder to work with, which is the only reason we charge an upcharge for it, because a regular pizza takes like maybe 20 seconds to stretch from a ball, whereas those gluten-frees, it takes 3 to 5 minutes per pizza to build. Yeah.
It takes a
So
while.
sometimes we'll get a ticket for like 8 of them, and we're like,
from 20 seconds, from 20 seconds for a regular pizza to minutes for a gluten-free crust?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't stretch, because when you're stretching dough, that's gluten.
Yeah.
That's what lets it stretch, and there's none of that. So we have to shape it and mold it, and it takes longer to shape it and mold it than it does just to give it a couple of stretches.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
But it's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. I've had one of those gluten-free pizzas back last year when I was on my gluten-free month-long cleanse.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised at how good they are. Yeah, so they're I forgot. So I think I had you guys. It might have been a cup and char or something that I had you guys do with the gluten-free, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, people call back and they think we gave them the wrong food.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's
You're a little
gluten-free.
nervous.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the gluten tastes, like the bread tastes too good, you get nervous.
Yeah, and I can understand that.
You get too nervous.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God,
You're
I'm
like, this is
allergic to
not it.
gluten. This tastes too good to be eating gluten.
Absolutely.
All right. So what makes your pizza different from every other slice in Fairbanks?
Oh, man. Pretty much, I think the biggest thing we have going is our unusual combos. Like chicken and waffles, a pickle pizza.
Yes, that dilly.
The Chick Pizzazz, which is basically a riff on Chick-fil-A. So you got fried chicken, pickles, and honey mustard. We try to, and the taters. We try to just branch out and do things different. Like next month, we'll be doing the Chupacabra, which is the birria taco pizza. And I know I said birria wrong. I know I did.
It's
It's all
okay.
good.
But-
It's all good.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that one.
So don't you? Okay, doesn't that one have oxtail in it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, wee.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I remember eating that one. Now, so that's a seasonal pizza.
Yeah, because if I did that every year, I'd probably be hiring prep people every day. My prep team absolutely hates that pizza when we do it. They're just like, oh crap. And
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous because the prep team we have right now has never made that one because they're both newer.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, hopefully next month goes well. But yeah, that one's a really complicated pizza.
Is it birria and the cheese? Cheese as well?
Well, not like the taco, where you put the
Okay.
cheese and you fry it.
Yeah.
So what we do is we make a cilantro pesto.
Okay.
And that's the base, and then we have the birria meat, which I can't do the tongue roll. It's a birria meat. So we're using 4 different cuts of beef, which I know it's supposed to be goat, but I could not get goat in the quantity I need. So I'm using
Understandable.
beef as a substitute. And we use 4 different types of beef, one of which is oxtail because it gets the marrow in the flavor.
Okay.
The bone marrow melts out.
Yeah.
So we do that, and we marinate the meat for 24 hours, and then we have to cook the meat for 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's like a
Long
day and a
process
half.
for
When you
that-
run
for
out,
that.
you're like, if we don't have any in the pipeline,
That's
we're not
right.
going to have it for a full day, and people get cranky.
Yeah.
And then I didn't answer. And then we put mozzarella.
Okay.
And then we put a tortilla that we soak in the
In the
juices.
consommé.
Yeah, and then we cook it, and
Okay.
that tortilla fries up a little bit.
Oh.
And then when it comes out, we put cotija
Ooh,
on
okay.
top.
I like it. Sounds
All
good.
right, all right.
That sounds good.
Look here, Alexis, you sound like you know what you're talking about.
I love food. I absolutely love food.
Okay, all right. She's like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay. Okay, now, so where are you really from?
Southern California.
Okay, all right. So which part of Southern California? L.A.?
Not exactly LA, more closer to Ontario,
Okay.
Riverside area.
All right, good deal, good deal. All right.
All right, so how did you develop your dough, sauce, and overall style? And was it a trial and error or specific influence?
We would have big pizza parties at the house because I just parked the oven in my driveway, and we'd invite over like 30, 40 people.
Really?
And we'd try different white sauces, and I was basically just telling everybody, hey, it's free food. But if you don't give me your opinion, you're not coming to the next one.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to go, oh, yeah, that was great. I need honest opinions. Like, that was too spicy or it tasted weak.
Yeah.
I was like, I need you to kill me so that I do it right the next time. Because if I'm asking people to pay for it,
Oh, yeah.
it has to be good.
Yeah.
And so we just have these big tasting parties where we'd cook a ton of pizza and everybody would just sit there and eat them all, and they'd be like, that white sauce was the best, and so, but I kind of liked this, and so we'd kind of merge the two together and then try it again, and they'd be like, yeah, that one's spot on.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
The dough wise, we started with a recipe from Tony Gemignani, who's like a big guy in the pizza world. I don't know anybody in other worlds, but I mean, he's really big in the pizza world. He's got a book called The Pizza Bible. And in there, he had a wood-fired pizza recipe. So we started with that, but it's also a traditional recipe, which is more like Neapolitan, Italian style. So it's softer and poofier. And we had to tweak that because Fairbanks didn't understand what Neapolitan pizza was. So they were always like, it's soft. I want my money back. And in Italy, they fold pizza like a taco and eat it. So it's always soft. If it's hard, they screwed up.
Yeah.
But everybody over here is used to like chain store pizza where they want it firm and crisp and brown.
Right.
Over there, it's airy and poofy and thin.
Yeah.
And so we had to tweak it a lot the first few months, just too many complaints. So we had to tweak it, change our ratios and that. And so now we're kind of like a hybrid. I think most people call it like Neapolitan.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an Americanized version.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Good deal.
Nice. Absolutely. Okay. So, you initially started the business, right? So, did you start out of the hardstand building that you're in now, or were you in a different location? And at what point did you realize that your pizza that you were selling was really catching on with the community?
We started off doing the farmer's market out of a tent. And we did that for 2 years. During the summer, we were at the market on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we'd come to Hoodoo and Ursa Major Distilling during the winter. And I think we set up at Hoodoo on Wednesdays and Ursa on Saturdays. And we would sell pizza out of a tent, which is really hard at 40 below, 50 below.
Absolutely.
Not many people want to do that. So
Yeah.
we would freeze our butts off a lot. And anyway, so we started doing it that way. 2 years into it, a friend of mine owned a commercial property, and he said, hey, I've got a unit that's open. I'd like to make a kitchen in it for you. And we were looking at it, and you can't really do a full-on commercial kitchen because we had nowhere to put like hoods and that. But it's perfect for us because our ovens are outside.
Okay.
So he got all the internal stuff done, you know, the 3-bay sinks and the proper drains and all that. And the DEC signed off on it because our ovens were outside. So then we started doing the brick and mortar about 2 years into it. And about a year after that was when, I mean, like, I don't know how active. Facebook's like our biggest social media platform. Instagram, we're okay on. TikTok, not at all. You know, I'm old.
That's okay.
TikTok doesn't do anything for me. But Facebook, if you get on Facebook, people either love us or hate us, and they're very vocal about both. They're either like, they're the best, or I hope they burn down.
Oh, wow.
It's just very polarizing. And when we started getting the fans is when I was like, okay, people are taking this more serious than I am. I should probably stop and look at this and think about doing this bigger. And that's when we were like, okay, it's starting to take enough of my time. I can't really work out on Wainwright and do this right.
Yes.
You know, I either have to shut it down or I got it because it was consuming my life. And so we decided that I'd quit Wainwright and go full time at the pizzeria.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm actually sitting here, and I'm feeding my face. Okay, so what is this pizza right here that I'm currently about to dive into?
That one is the murdered by meat. So it's got 5 different kinds of meat, and normally it comes on a red sauce, but to play with some of the pizzas I brought today, that's on the dilly sauce. So it's like roasted garlic white sauce.
Okay, all right. And so what was that first pizza with the cup and char, but you added something else to it?
Oh, that was our standard East Coast cup and char, but I added Parmigiano Romano and then a drizzle of hot honey.
Oh, yeah. So that hot honey, that really gave it, like, it took it to another level.
That's like my go-to lunch if I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
I'll cook one of those and eat that.
Yeah. So you're using the Mike's hot honey.
No, we make our own.
Oh, you make your own hot honey?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
We use ancho chili pepper,
yeah.
so it has a smoky flavor to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't
idea.
know. So I thought that when you guys were using your hot honey, I thought it was like you go down or you get on Amazon and you order a bunch of boxes of Mike's hot honey. I mean, because that's what people usually do, right? But you make your own hot honey.
Yeah, we make it in-house. Initially, I wanted to get beehives and harvest the honey, but I'm like, I don't have
That's
that
a lot
kind
of
of time.
extra.
Yeah.
It was just too much. I was
Yeah. And so I asked that to lead into this next question because I am a foodie. I'm a foodie guy by heart. And I have had plenty of out of this world experiences whenever I come to your place, and then I write about it. All right, you guys make an extremely well product.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you make an extremely well product, and I need to actually get down there for lunch and actually do the little pizza by slice thing because that was a good idea right there. But anyways, having said all that, and being a foodie guy myself, how did you end up getting selected for diners, drive-ins, and dives? So take us through that.
How much time do we have?
Well, okay, so give us the Cliff Notes version.
It was a hectic day, and I was on the ovens because somebody had called out. So I'm on the ovens, and one of our employees, his name is Sebastian, he was on the register, and he came back. We were in the middle of lunch rush. I mean, like a slamming day where nobody has time to breathe, go to the bathroom, nothing. We're just going. And we're hauling, and he comes to the oven, and he goes, hey, there's a phone call. They need to talk to you. And I'm like, if it's a complaint, just take a number. I'll call them back. And he goes, no, they said they're the Food Network. And I'm like, why are they calling me in the middle of lunch? I mean, why would the Food Network be calling us? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, they're in the lower 48, so they don't equate the 4-hour difference to.
Yes.
Yeah, I just was like, it's got to be a prank. Just hang up and get back to work because we're too busy to be doing this. And like about 30 minutes later, he came over and goes, man, it's really the Food Network. They want to talk to you. And I was like, we're in the middle of lunch, man. I can't talk. I'm like, I tell him I can call him back in an hour. And he's like, but they don't want to hang up. And I'm like, fine, give me the phone. And so I started talking to this lady, and she was the Food Network. And I was just like, I was getting ready to hang up on her because I'm just like, you always get phone calls, people trying to sell you stuff, and they'll try to say something to get you on the phone. And so it turned out it was the company that does all the pre-searching for the Food Network.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we wanted to know if you guys would be interested in doing this. And I'm like, holy crap, yeah, why would I not, you know? And so we're talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of lunch. Can I call you back? And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So we call her back. And at that point, we didn't have dine-in, which kind of negates diners portion of it. And so they said, well, you don't have dine-in, so we're kind of thinking maybe not. And I was like, well, I just took over the unit next door, but I have to knock a hole in the wall and do a remodel. When are you guys talking about doing this? And they were like, 14 days.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, so let me think about this, you know. And so basically what happened was we had 14 days to remodel an empty unit into a dining room, which meant it was raw concrete floor. Well, it had laminate flooring, but I didn't like it, so I pulled all that up, and underneath was just raw concrete.
Yeah.
So I got a hold of a company out of Anchorage that does epoxy flooring.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we can do it, but you can't touch it for 7 days. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work. And they go, well, okay, if you push it, you can get on it in 5 days, but don't tell anybody I said that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And here I am telling everybody. But anyway, they came and they spent like 2 or 3 solid days just doing the floor. As soon as I got the floor done, we had to paint, we had to remodel, get everything set up. I had to send the company status updates every night and every morning.
Yeah.
And so all my staff, they killed it. They were staying till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning painting walls. My carpenter friend that did all my carpentry, he looked at me and goes, don't ever ask me to do this again. It's like, so we're working. And the last day I worked 36 hours straight.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to be there at 7:30. And we finished at, I think it was like 7:05. He put the last screw in something. And he goes, I'm going home. Don't call me again.
You know what? Okay, so going back, because I've seen that episode several times, and it looked like it had been that way. Like you guys did a good job. So in 14 days, you made that happen.
Yeah. You can still smell paint. You know, because it was, I mean, everything was, we were there hours every day just putting things together, trying to get it done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they didn't sign off until the night before. They were like, if you don't have this portion done by the time we land, we're going to have to go somewhere else.
Oh.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, it'll be done. You know?
Awesome. Okay. All right, good deal.
Time frame.
So, what was your first reaction when you heard Guy Fieri was coming to feature your spot?
Well, like I was saying, disbelief. I basically assumed it was a prank phone call because it just, I mean, I was an IT guy for 25, 30 years. I was doing IT before the internet was common. So I was like, I'm not a chef. I'm not a cook. Everything I've learned is by watching YouTube and just making something and going, well, that tasted gross, you know, just refining. And so within 3 years of opening, getting a phone call from Food Network, it just felt like imposter syndrome or whatever you want to say. You know, I was like, why are they calling us? We're just making freaking pizza, you know? And like, I felt like, I mean, I'm being brutally honest here, and I haven't ever said this to anybody. So I kind of felt like a fraud. You know, you just kind of feel, well, you know, you're like, people always tell you your food's good, and you're like, do I believe them? Or are they just telling me because they think I'll cry? You know, you're like, do they really mean it? And so I've been working on that a lot, trying to accept compliments when I get them. But initially, I was just like, I don't know why they'd come here, but I'm grateful they did. And
Yeah, I totally get that, man. I totally understand how that happens, because sometimes, you know, when I get people that say good things about the work that I've done for them, and I'm thinking to myself, are they just saying that? Do I really believe it? But yeah, hey, own it, bro.
Yeah.
Own it. Like, you slang some good pies.
well, I'm trying to get there. I'm doing better than I was.
Because you know, well, and then also it's also, you also want to always remain humble. And you don't want to let it really get to your head, right? To where it consumes you, and then that's what you're known for in the community. I mean, because this is a small community, so yeah. So you have to remain vigilant about never becoming too confident.
Yeah, cocky.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Guy Fieri, he's coming over to your shop, right? I'm assuming there's cameras everywhere. There's different people. There's the microphones. Are they like pausing you while you're making pies, trying to get shots, or what was it like behind the scenes during that time?
So they required us to be closed for 2 days, and the first day is when they film all the B-roll.
Okay.
So it's just the crew, and you're just basically making pizza, and they're recording you build it, recording you cook it, watching you cut it, hand it out to people.
Okay.
So we were supposed to, well, not supposed to, we had to get 2 restaurants full of people. One for one day, one for the next day. So I had to reach out to people and bring them in. And you're not allowed to have friends or relatives there, because then people go, oh, they only said it was good because it was his brother. He's going to talk it up on TV. It's his brother.
Yeah.
So they were like, it's easier that way, because if it's people that are customers or random people, then we know they really do like it because they're sitting there saying it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. You wouldn't think it's hard, but it's like, this is a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody's not related, but everybody's tied together somehow,
Yeah.
So it's like, well, how am I going to find random people? So I asked a bunch of customers and some friends, and if I would have known you then, you would have been there because you're a foodie, you know. So I was asking all the foodies I knew. I'm like, okay, so Lizzie, Alaska Lizzie was there.
Yeah.
So I had all those people there. I had my friend who's a senator, Scott Kawasaki was there. My friend who's got a bunch of reindeer, he has like 50, 60 head of reindeer, he came.
Nice.
I was like trying to think of people that would be cool. That guy would be like, oh, wow, he's got reindeer? What the heck? Just somebody that make him stop and go, what the heck is going on in this town? So I was trying to pitch the town by just bringing odd people in.
Nice.
And so we had to do that for 2 days. And the first day, I didn't know that he wasn't there both days. So the first day, everybody there didn't get to see him. So I was like, oh, crap, now I feel bad. All these people came and they didn't see him. And then the next day, when they film all his stuff, they were tracking him on his plane because we were the first stop. So they're like, oh, he's almost here. He's almost here. Oh, he landed. Now he's on his way. So he comes into the kitchen. Well, apparently first he hung out front looking at my fire truck. Yeah. Because I was out front. So he was out there. My mother-in-law was in the parking lot and she was taking pictures of him. He's like, oh, he's all over your truck.
Oh, yeah, because he's a car guy. Too.
Yeah,
he's a car guy.
So he was climbing all over the truck, and then he came in and we started filming. And he's very polite. I mean, I had a wonderful experience. I saw online at first, I was researching, and people were like, oh, he's arrogant. Oh, he's mean. And I was like, dude, I had a polar opposite experience. He was totally relatable, really cool. He asked so many questions because our kitchen is very weird. And the first thing, he walked in and he started taking pictures and texting them to his friends going, check this weird kitchen out. And he's like, explain it to me. Why did you do this? And so I'd go through it and he goes, holy crap, that is an IT guy. You're thinking about efficiency and like making things work smoothly, not just, hey, let's throw a table here.
That military experience.
Troubleshooting. And so he was just like, it's super weird. And I'm like, okay. And, then he chatted for a bit, talking to me and my employees that were there. And then he's just like, okay, we need to get to work because there's people waiting on me and there's a lot of money going out right now. So he just jumped right in. We started doing the job. Afterwards, he talked a little bit more and then he had to go to the next filming.
Nice.
But I had a wonderful experience with it. I thought it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's
nice.
Really great.
Okay, now, so before we go any further, just a quick note. Okay, so you can find 36 Podcast. We're on your usual suspects. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Pandora. And a few more of the audio podcast providers. And if you're watching this video, of course, you can find us on YouTube, right? So, having said that, Alexis.
Yes.
As far as you're concerned, well, not personally, but professionally, where can we find you professionally on social medias?
Professionally on social media, I can be contacted via LinkedIn. That is where I have majority of my experience and my background and contact information.
Okay, but what about like the Army as a whole?
The Army as a whole.
Or division.
Definitely on LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn.
Yes.
Okay, so
anything that I do in regards to military related, whether it's teaching classes or volunteering with different organizations, I have all of my information posted on LinkedIn.
Okay, all right. So is it okay for me to add your LinkedIn?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Randy, Hungry Robot, where can we find you on social medias?
Hungry Robot.
Now, hungryrobot.com or just Hungry Robot IG, Hungry Robot Facebook?
HungryRobot.com is purely for ordering. It's
Okay.
actually a really horrible website, and I need to get it redone. Basically, I'm the only one that responds to Facebook. So
Yep.
if you send something on Facebook to the robot, it's me.
Okay.
And on Instagram, it's 50-50. Most of the time me, but not always.
Okay.
I was going to say Snapchat. We do have a Snapchat, but I haven't ever used it. And we also have a TikTok. But
Okay.
like I said, it's not my favorite format.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I get in there like once a month.
Okay, all right, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the links to Sergeant First Class Alexis James. I'm gonna add her LinkedIn link. I'm also gonna put the links to where our listeners or viewers can find you on social medias as well. So it'll be in the descriptions, guys. So please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And then you'll be kept up to date whenever I post a new episode. So, having said all that, okay, so what did Guy try from your menu, and what did he seem to like the most?
There's some funny story about that. Well, they made me send them our entire menu probably about a week before, and then they came back and said, these are the ones we want to try. They did modify he tried the Dilly Dilly and the Burning Bumblebee. He modified the Dilly Dilly because he liked that we make our own Italian sausage as opposed to using commercial. And at that point, we were using locally raised pork. So he wanted us to make a dilly with pork on it. So in the kitchen, we typically call that the triple dilly.
Yeah.
We have like some different variants that happen a lot. Like a dilly with bacon is a dilly Dane. A dilly with cup and char is a dilly Daniel. Certain customers that order them all the time, so it kind of just inherits their name.
Yeah.
And with if you get a dilly with sausage, internally we'll call it like a triple dilly.
Yeah.
And then the Burning Bumblebee, he had that one. The funny thing about that one is I was all excited to feed it to him. And then when he comes in during the conversation while he's initially there, he's like, I really hate pepperoni. And I'm like, well, crap, because
Really?
he said, I just hate pepperoni. It's my least favorite topping.
Yeah.
And they picked the B, which has 2 types of pepperoni on it. And I'm like, well, that's like literally half of the ingredients on that freaking pizza, and you hate it. I'm like, how is this supposed to go well?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to suck. And then when I'm building it, I put the pepperoni underneath the cheese. And he goes, why are you putting that under the cheese? And I'm like, well, that's what we always have on this pizza. And he goes, but then the meat won't render and the fats won't come out. And I'm like, I know, but trust me. And he's just like, okay. And so we make it, and he ate it, and he gave me props, and he said, that is a good freaking pizza.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, thank God. He was like, I hate pepperoni. I'm like,
Oh, ouch. I can just imagine how that, like, your nervous meter just spiked at that point right there. It's like,
I was like, well, this is going to fail. I was like, right off the bat, and he hasn't even ate
It's the
it.
most popular pizza topping.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
But he loved that pizza. He was just like, man, that is a good freaking pizza.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty here. Okay, so after the episode aired, did you notice any real spike in business or other impacts on you?
Yeah, emotionally, I was pretty beaten up because we were growing, even before we aired, we were growing like 20-25% every month. So like say I'll give you real numbers, like 1 month we do 30 grand, and the next month we do 45 grand, and the next month you do 60-70 grand, and it just wasn't slowing down. Every month was busier and busier, so we were constantly hiring.
After that
and
episode aired.
well, before this is before, and because like when COVID hit, we were feeding kids. Remember that? I don't know if you remember that. We were
I do.
feeding
I do.
kids that got sent home from school, because
I do.
if they're in a food insecure home, they still needed a meal. So we did that, and everybody just supported us like crazy. So we're training and hiring nonstop, which meant we made a crap load of mistakes. And so it was a brutal time. I was on damage control every day for 5-6 hours a day. And some people were like, I'll never come back. Some are like, okay, I understand. We'll give you another shot. And we're doing that. And then as soon as we started getting on to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Benny from Pagoda was like, you got to get ready because it's going to get crazy. And I'm like, but it's already freaking crazy. Like, I hired 9 people in a week, dude. I can't do anymore.
Right.
And he's like, it'll get worse. It'll be like 20, 25% more. And then the show aired and we were climbing 40, 45% a month. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, you can't. Luckily, when we built the place, we overestimated. Like, we bought the biggest mixer we could afford.
Yeah.
Because if I would have went with a smaller mixer, we would have been sunk.
Yeah.
I mean, we were selling out of pizza every friggin' day, and you're making 400 or 500 pizzas. You're like,
oh, wow.
We don't have fridge space. We can't do more.
Would you ever open a second location?
I get asked that probably at least once every week, and I'll go back to a friend of mine that owned restaurants in town. He opened 2, and he thought it would double his sales. And he said, what it did is it just doubled my stress.
Oh.
He goes, because
wow.
one restaurant, the one that was open already, dropped 25%, and then the other one only got to about the same level. So he goes, so both were now making 75%.
Yeah.
He goes, so I added half as I increased my income by 50%, but I doubled my staff, I doubled my ordering, I doubled my headaches. He goes, I'd never do it again. So every time somebody asks me, I just remember in my head, I go to Bill going, don't do it. And I'm like, but maybe. And they're like, don't do it.
I mean, expand the restaurant maybe, but don't.
Right. And I can't where I'm at because we're basically walled in. Behind us is a gym, next to us is a groomer.
Yeah.
They're both doing well. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I keep my eye out for other buildings, like, oh, maybe that'd be a good place to move into, but it's Fairbanks. There's not much.
Yeah.
And when there is something like Sourdough Sam's opened up, but then Doyon bought it, and they've got way more money than I have.
Oh,
know? So it's like, well, even if I
it's no
try-
longer a restaurant anymore either. Is
No,
it?
it's
just
offices.
an office space.
Same with Denny's. They opened Denny's sold, and
yeah,
they
that
turned
didn't make
it.
any sense.
It's a chiropractic office. So
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
no,
Okay. So,
it was, but it was also like almost $1 million.
oh wow.
And you're like, that's a cool spot. That's a nice building, but I don't have $1 million. I sell pizza.
Yeah,
You know?
no doubt.
So aside from normal restaurant owner problems that you have, staffing, people, not being able to show up for work, is there anything that is Alaska specific that you've had issues with as a business owner here?
Supplies. If the barges can't leave Seattle, we're pretty much hosed.
Oh.
Because there's like barges every 5 days or something like that, or they take 5 days once they leave Seattle and they leave every day. I don't know. But I know there'll be stretches. Like right now we're going through a stretch where it's hard to get our cheese, it's hard to get our pickles, it's hard to get certain things.
Okay.
So I'll have to go to Walmart and find pickles because they carry the same pickles. So I'll go to Walmart, but it's inconvenient because you're going there buying 50 jars of pickles when you could
instead
just
of-
order them and have them delivered. You're like, well, here goes an hour,
Yeah.
an hour I don't have.
Yeah.
And cheese, when we run out of cheese, it's a freaking nightmare because what we do is so different. Like wood-fired pizza is at such a different temperature than most pizza. We just can't use any cheese.
Okay.
We have to have special cheese
Specific
for it.
cheese.
Yeah.
And it took us when we had Sam's Club in town, we used to buy our shredded cheese there, and it worked great.
Yeah.
So we just lucked into it.
Yeah.
But then Sam's Club closed, and Costco took over. Costco cheese did not work. It burns, so you get black on the cheese. Instead of golden brown, you get black. So then we couldn't use that. So we worked with Quality Sales, who's a local distributor, and they brought us so many freaking different kinds of cheeses, and we just kept trying different ones, and we couldn't do it. And we
What
finally
now? So is that because they use preservatives after they shred it?
pre-bagged cheese. They roll it in something that is an anti-caking agent.
Yeah, that keeps it from
Got
clumping
it.
together.
Okay.
Sticking
Most
together.
of them use starch, which is like people will go, that's wood chips. It's not. It's a potato. Oh, no, not a potato. It's a plant starch.
Plant starch.
And
okay.
so they just use I don't know how they make it. That's science stuff.
Yeah.
They make a plant starch and they roll it in there, and that keeps it from sticking together and turning it back into a block.
Yeah.
But when we would cook it,
It doesn't melt correctly.
well, that plant starch would burn, and then the cheese would melt. So every piece of cheese would be encased in char, and then it would melt. So you'd have black floating all over in the pizza, and people are like, "This is
wanna
burned,"
eat
and
it,
we're like,
yeah.
so we ended up having to buy this big machine that shreds cheese. Oh, I keep putting my hand up. It's this big machine that shreds an 8-pound block of cheese in like about 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So it'll eat your arm if you put it in there. And now we shred our own. Well, not now. We've been shredding our own cheese for years because then there's no anti-caking agent.
Yeah.
But there's only one brand of cheese that tasted the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
And so when we can't get that cheese, we have to buy a substitute, and that substitute never tastes the same.
It just throws
Doesn't
everything
taste the
off.
same.
People will text and
Yeah.
go, something was different. And I'm like, yeah, the barge didn't make it.
Yeah, and you just have to mentally prepare for all the complaints to come.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, damn.
You're like, how long is it before that cheese gets here? And Stacy will be like, 5 days. I'm like, make it go faster.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. All right, so how has the Fairbanks community shaped your business and, helped you? I mean, because this is the Golden Heart City. So has the Golden Heart City come through? I'm sure they have, but give us your outlook on that.
Yes. I feel like I need to be careful what I say just in case somebody gets mad. There are people in this town that I've learned to avoid.
Yeah.
Certain ones that pop up online, I'll be like, okay, it's just them again. I can't let what they say hurt me because they're always like this.
Yeah.
There's people, and in food review groups, they pop up way more than they should. For the most part, the city has been amazing to us.
Yeah.
The support they've given, like, we do that Pie It Forward right now where we feed homeless people or anybody in need. So if there's like a single parent out there and they don't have food for their kid, it's like, bring your kid in, get yourself some pizza. You're both taken care of. And,
How did that start?
how it started. There's some other guys in the States that do similar things.
Okay.
And we used to do it during COVID. We were feeding kids. I don't want to be redundant, but like the kids that got sent home, so then they didn't have a meal. So we're like, okay, let's feed kids because they need it.
Yes,
They don't have
they
a
need
choice. So we did that, and it just kind of morphed into anybody that needs a meal can come in. And then it kind of just became the Pie It Forward where we're like, we don't ask.
That's great.
If you come in and you're starving, we'll give you food.
That's absolutely amazing.
And when I mean like the town supported it is like I think just since the beginning of this year, I haven't looked in about a month, but since the beginning of this year, we'd given away like I think it was about 400 pizzas.
Oh, wow.
my God.
And
That is
at
great.
least 90% of those are paid for by donations from people that just say, hey, add a pizza to the Pie It Forward board. We used to carry it all ourselves, but it was like, we can't anymore.
lot.
With it. Everything's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So when customers started donating, people would come in and be like, hey, I want to put 50 pizzas on that. And we're like, holy crud.
Yeah. Wow.
So the town has been amazingly supportive. There's just been a few where you're like,
Yeah.
go somewhere else, please.
Yeah, no doubt.
Where do you see Hungry Robot in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think we're about halfway through our 10th year. Probably about 5-6 years ago, I was really trying to push to franchise. I wanted to grow and make it a franchise. And I could never quite get the correct staffing in place to where I could focus on that. I always kind of got pulled back in the day-to-day. But I've kind of burned out. And like I said, I'm going to be brutally honest. I've kind of burned out on that push because the robot works the best when I don't have a life. I have to be there 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Not that the people I have need managed that way. They're good employees. I have good employees, but I find that certain things just slide or mistakes happen.
Yeah.
And if I'm there to catch them, it's good, but I can't do 16-hour days every day of my life. It's
I'm gonna tell you on the outside looking in, being a business owner, small business owner, it's romanticized, right? And on the outside looking in, it's like this great thing to be your own boss and do your own hours and set your own pace. But in all reality, it's once you actually take that step and you become a small business owner and you see what it takes to operate a small business, it can become disenchanting.
Yeah.
And then, because it's like, okay, so with me and custom creations, I just want to make t-shirts and laser engraved cups and make my customers happy.
To kind of build on what you're saying, we get a lot of military up here, and they'll transfer up, and they'll be like, "Why are you $24? I could get the same pizza in Kansas for $16."
Yeah.
And I'll go, "Okay." My friends in Kansas are paying $30 for a bag of flour. I'm paying $70.
Yeah.
My friends in Kansas are paying $32 for a case of tomatoes. I'm paying $85.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I can't sell it for the same price.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't math.
Exactly,
But they just don't want. They're just like, but it should still be a $16 pizza. I'm like, it's not possible.
Well, and then because and then I will say this though to all my military personnel. So I'm a Department of the Army civilian, and so I get what's called locality pay because I've relocated up to Alaska. Before my locality pay kicked in when I first moved up here. So I remember my first time going to McDonald's when I first got here. My locality pay had not kicked in. A Big Mac combo in the lower 48 at a McDonald's is like probably $5, right? And the first time my wife and we went to McDonald's here, and I bought 2 Big Mac combos, and it cost me $23. I was like, whoa!
Yes.
Yeah.
But then once my locality pay kicked in, I'm like, okay,
It's not bad.
I'm getting my cost of so you guys are getting your cost of living increase and your COLA. So
I just remember when
work with us.
I first got up here, it's like I went to the subway and course it's like their advertisement, the $5 foot long.
Yeah.
It's not $5 up here.
I'm like, yeah, it's a $7 foot long here.
$7.
Now it's like 12 or something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a
Exactly.
lot.
All right.
So, for someone or anyone who's listening, right, who may be interested in beginning a new business or going out venturing on their own as an entrepreneur, what would be your biggest piece of advice for them?
Like food business or any business?
Any business owner.
Move slower than you think you should. When we were growing 40, 50% a month, I was trying to expand as fast as possible, and I never was able to establish procedures that would make things work well.
Okay.
So you're always just fixing leaks in the boat, but
Right.
you never had a chance to actually keep the boat going. You're just
Okay.
like, that's broken, that's broken, that's broken, this isn't working, that isn't working. Even if your sales are growing, artificially limit them.
Okay.
You know, like we just kept making more dough. Like, okay, we'll just sell more pizzas. And all that did is add to the
going.
problems. And what I should have done is just said, we can make 300 a day. Anymore, I don't care.
There you go. Okay.
If I would have done that, I'd probably be a lot happier.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
More
Okay, so
time.
basically, it's a marathon. Don't sprint.
Yeah, take your time.
So it's not a sprint.
Yeah, and that's my thoughts. Just I mean, even like Spice It Up out there when he was growing. Him and I started kind of similar times. He was growing fast,
Yeah.
and it puts a lot of stress on you.
Yeah, it does.
You might think it wouldn't, like looking outside in. You're like, but they handle it so well. It's like,
Yeah.
no, they go home and cry every night, and they're,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
this sucks.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
exactly.
I've been-
because when you start off just slinging ice cream or slinging pizzas, then it's all rainbows and unicorns, right?
Yeah.
But when the other aspects of business kick in, you're like, damn.
Yeah, I did not know.
Ah!
Yeah, you're like, I didn't even know this was going to happen.
Exactly.
Like before I knew it, I had 40 employees, and now they're
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, now you got to worry about sick leave, vacation leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I have to create a freaking leave request slip, and I'm like, what the
Yeah,
heck? I just want to
okay.
cook pizza.
I just want to make pizza.
I was like, I just want to stand out there and cook. It's like, but everything else pops up.
But alas,
Yes.
if only life could be that simple.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to switch to camera 3 real quick, and I want you to reveal this pizza and I'm going to ask the question as we reveal. So now we're on camera number 3, so please do the reveal, sir.
Okay.
Okay, and so I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to ask the question and let you talk about this pizza, because then we're going to dive into this pizza real quick after you talk about it, though. All right. So if Guy Fieri walked back into Hungry Robot today, what's the one thing you put in front of him, and what would you want him to say about it this time?
Ooh, I don't know what I'd want him to say, but this is our Tater's Gonna Tate, which is from my Taylor Swift phase. It's a loaded baked potato on a pizza. So we make our own mash, and then that is the base. Well, actually, the base is the dilly, the roasted garlic sauce.
Yep.
And then we put the mash on top, and then mozzarella and bacon bits. And then this one, I had them add fried chicken because it's kind of my favorite twist to it. You get a little bit of fried chicken in there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we cook it, and when we bring it out, we drizzle it with ranch, which is our own homemade ranch, and then we sprinkle it with Parmesan and Romano cheese,
Okay.
and we add diced green onion on
wow.
top. This is probably like my go-to pizza, and it's got like a cult following. Like usually when I post on Facebook, people will be like, I love the taters. And I'm just like, oh, hey, they just kind of pop out of the woodwork. And I'm like, I didn't even mention the taters. Why are we all of a sudden talking about the taters? I don't know what I'd want him to say about it. Hopefully that he liked it.
Okay.
It's a really good pizza. It's very comfort foodish.
Yeah.
So like during the winter, actually I have a customer that lives in Ohio, and they come up for the ice carving competition every January.
Yeah.
And she always comes and gets this pizza first. Like
Nice.
she'll get off the plane, come in and get Tater's Gonna Take. And
Tater's Gonna Take. Okay. So we're going to actually, myself and Jeff, we're going to actually dig into this Tater's Gonna Take. And then hopefully what can happen one day is you can prepare a gluten-free version for Alexis
nice.
one day.
let me think real quick.
Okay.
The fried chicken would be a no. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
no,
got
the
bread.
fried chicken.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Everything else should be good.
Okay, that works.
All right, then. Okay, so then rain check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we are going to enjoy a piece for you there.
I would appreciate
And we will think
that.
about you as we're diving into this piece of pizza. All right, so on that note, we've come to the end of our formal questions. You want to take a break and then come back and do some freestyle for a minute before we let you go?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. We're going to refill our drinks, and then we're going to come back for what we call the Segway Freestyle, where we just ask random questions that came up during the interview that weren't on the official questions list, and then we're going to call it a day. So on that note, you guys stick tight. We'll be right back. What's up, Fairbanks? What's up, Fairbanks, North Star Borough? Okay, we're back from a quick break. We're all refilled. Everybody is good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have a few quick questions, segues, questions that came up, freestyles as we were interviewing. And so I will go ahead and lead off with the first segue, all right? So, question for you. Okay, so I know you don't drink beer. However, you set up here from time to time and you sling your pies out here on the patio. All right. And this is a brewery. Mm-hmm. And so, the end thing to do at breweries or when it comes to wine or whatever is pairings. Okay, so let's talk pairings. When somebody orders a pizza pie, is there a certain beer at Hoodoo or anywhere that you recommend with a certain particular type of pizza?
Oh boy. I don't really lock into a certain type of beer. I used to drink stouts when I was here cooking.
Okay.
But I don't eat pizza as often as you would think I do.
Really?
I only eat it like this is the first slice I have had in probably 2 weeks.
Yeah. I could see how you could get kind of burnt out on pizzas, right?
It's more to make sure I don't get burned out.
There you go.
I'm like, if I eat it every day, I will get burned out, and then I won't want to go to work because I'm like, I'm tired of the smell. I'm tired of eating it.
Yeah.
So I only eat pizza like once every 2 weeks. When I was doing the stouts, I would eat Murder by Meats. But I don't know. I'm not very good at the pairing because I was a Dr. Pepper guy, and I would drink 2 to 4 liters of Dr. Pepper every day, and it went with everything. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people would do the lighter beers with like the margarita and the okie dokie, which are lighter pizzas.
Okay.
They would like those together.
All right.
Usually the meat heavy ones, we're always going to guys drinking IPA.
Got you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some research on pizza pairings with beer, and if I come up with something interesting, guys, what I will do is I'll also put it in the pairings as well. Does pepperoni and sausage go better with the Pilsner or IPA, or does your Murdered by Meat or with what I'm eating right here, which is the
Tater's Gonna Take.
The Tater's Gonna Take.
Yeah.
Okay, so because this isn't a red sauce, this is a white sauce.
Yep.
Based pizza. And so basically, okay, so what type of beer would pair well with the white sauce as opposed to a red sauce? Because I believe that the red sauces, they're more there's more
Acidity.
acidity to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do some homework, guys, and if I come up with something, I'll put it in the description as far as pairings.
I do know almost everybody. Like our most popular pizza here was always the J Popper,
Okay.
which is like a deconstructed jalapeno popper, and I think their most popular beer is IPA.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, and so I know a lot of guys were pairing IPA and J Poppers, so it had to taste good because they were doing it week after week after week.
Okay. All right. Well, there goes one for you guys. So the J Popper and an IPA.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Now, so are you scheduled to come slang pizzas here at all this summer?
Oh boy. Well, I have not told anybody this. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to. We're not going to do mobile this summer.
You're not doing mobile.
No, it's been 10 years and I haven't had a summer
Oh.
myself to where I've
Yeah.
had a summer.
Oh, that makes
Because when we come here, my day starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. And when we're at Hoodoo, my day doesn't end till almost midnight.
Oh, wow.
And if we come, like last year, we were here 2 days a week. So that
Yeah.
meant 2 days a week, I was pulling those days, long days, which
wow.
they're not like hard work,
Right.
but it's a long day.
It's a long day, yeah.
I bought the wood. Well, okay, I bought Trex to redo my back deck 5 years ago, and it's still on the pallet.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a summer where I can just have a summer.
Right.
So we've decided that we've signed up for a few events.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a few things here.
Yeah.
But not the weekly, every Wednesday, every Thursday type
Right,
thing.
right.
It's just I need to be able to take a break. It's kind
Yeah.
of like we were talking earlier about how the business, like it can consume you quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, because I totally understand that, and so I've been in business for since 2013, and so I started off going to weekend events, and so I've got my mobile T-shirt shop that I take to events, but for the last 2 summers, it's sat in my driveway because
Yeah.
it's just like it's
You
it's
want-
like too much, man.
Yeah, you want the weekend.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, I don't get a weekend.
Yeah.
I literally have Sunday off and that's it.
Yeah.
But then people are always like, you should be open Sunday. And I'm like, dude, I want one day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will never forget where I've come from, because doing those mobile events on the weekends is what got me to where I am.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that, and I'll always be indebted, but just can't do it every time there's an event.
Yeah, Hoodoo and Ursa Major are like, they hold a special place in our history. We're very happy and we love them.
Yeah.
And that's last year we were doing 2 days a week here because we love Hoodoo. We love coming here and they're great people.
Right.
But I can't have a 18-year-old drive an F-250 with a 30-foot trailer and also pull a 9,000-pound oven.
Yeah.
They just, some can, but I don't know. Insurance says no.
Yeah, right. True.
Yeah, insurance is like, no, we insure you. You're the only one that can move the equipment.
True.
And so I'm like, okay, but moving the equipment nonstop, that kind of gets tiring.
Gotcha.
I'd be here at 6 o'clock in the morning, dropping ovens off, dropping trailers off. And then I'd go to the kitchen and open up the kitchen. And then I have to load all the food and bring it over here and unload it all. And then I'd be able to leave for like 3-4 hours. And then I'd have to come back and load up all the dishes and all the other stuff, take them to the kitchen, drop them off, come back, get the oven, bring it to the kitchen, come back, get the trailer, bring it to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
it's tiring listening to it. Just listening to all that work. You're just, oh man, I'm ready for a break.
Yeah, it just makes a long day. I mean, and it's like the logistics. When we do chicken stock in the Highland Games, and the Highland Games are in Palmer, and chicken stock's in Chicken.
Yeah.
And it's like the logistics to bring 1,000 pizzas to the middle of nowhere. It's like there's a lot involved. You're bringing hundreds of pounds of dough, hundreds of pounds of cheese.
Yeah.
And if you forget, like one year I forgot to bring knives.
Yeah.
So we had nothing to cut pizza with.
Yeah.
So we had scissors. We're just like cutting all the pizzas with scissors, and I'm like, you have to have checklists, and you have to double check the checklists, and
Exactly.
it's just it makes a long day.
Do you still have that truck in progress, the one that's being custom built for you?
Are you talking about the 40-footer?
Yes.
That is actually sitting at a shop in St. Cloud.
What's the progress on it?
It hasn't started because he also builds SWAT rigs.
Okay.
And so he's busy doing SWAT rigs. But I also haven't, because it's going to be about, start to finish, it's probably going to be about $180,000.
Okay. All right.
So I have to figure out whether that's something I want to commit to, because that's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of pizza to make that back.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I really want to, but I'm also like, I'm 52.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, but look at it like this right here. You're not paying for it. Your customers are paying for it. You just have to maintain the amount of customers and even more, through either word of mouth or, just maintaining that quality that you're known for.
That's hard, though.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah, that's where that disenchantment comes in sometimes. But you just can't let that ruin your vision, though.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to say what I'm thinking. You can make someone's food right 30 times, and then they come in and they get one bad pizza and they never reach out. They just start eating somewhere else. And then you notice they're eating somewhere else because they're posting and they're your friend.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, they've been there 5 times. And you're like, hey, what's going on? And like, well, your guys screwed it up that time. And I'm like, well, you could have just reached out. I would have made it right.
Yeah.
So that maintaining the customers, it's hard. It's very hard. And that takes a lot of time.
Okay.
Not trying to diminish it or anything. I'm just saying, like 2 years ago was our best year ever. Financially, we made the most money, but I was also, my payroll was twice as much as it is right now.
Right.
So it cost me a lot of money to make that extra money.
Right.
Like on average, I'll throw numbers out, which I don't know if that bothers people. Some people don't like numbers. Right now, my payroll averages about $54,000 a month. That's just payroll.
Yeah.
And I sell pizza for $15 to $20.
Yeah.
So just for payroll, I've got to sell thousands of pizzas every month.
Yeah.
And it was a cold, crappy winter. Nobody was going out because it was cold and you just wanted to go home. I just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So we noticed a huge drop this winter, and that eats away at all your reserves.
Right.
So then you're like, okay, I hope it's a good summer, but it could be a smoky summer, it could be a windy summer.
Yeah.
You never know. But where I was going with that is like when we were at our peak, our payroll was over $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
So even though I'm making more money, I'm just spending it somewhere else.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so we talked about pairings and beer when you come to Hoodoo and set up. Okay, what about are there any plans for you to have beer? Because so I will tell you. When it comes to lunch, I'll eat anywhere at lunch because I know that I'm going back to work and I can't have a beer during lunch. So I'll eat anywhere at lunch. But when I go to dinner, I like to be able to have a nice cold frosty beer when I sit down and eat wherever I eat. Having said that, are there any plans for you to obtain a liquor license to be able to slang beers eventually one day?
I would love to, and we actually, when the Hot Pot closed on Airport, they had reached out offering to sell their liquor license to me.
Oh, and you didn't take it?
They wanted a lot of money. I mean, not like a little, and this isn't dogging them because that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
But when you look at a beer and wine license and it's $35,000.
Yeah.
To buy a secondhand, to buy it from the state, it's $2,000. But once somebody has it, they have it, and they can charge what they want.
Exactly.
So when they want $35,000 for it, I only had 5 tables.
There's not a lot.
I'd have to sell so many beers to make that $35,000 back.
Yeah.
And once you add beer and wine, now you can't hire 15, 16-year-olds.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And 90% of my
They got to be 18 or older now.
I think 17 maybe I could be wrong because I don't have beer and wine, so I don't keep
think
up
it's
on
18. I think they passed a law where 18-year-olds can serve beer now.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But that then limits my employment base.
Okay.
Because I usually only have like 4 to 5 15-year-olds just because there's so many restrictions on them. They're kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And then most of my staff are like 17, 18, 19. Most of them are college students. But we get a lot of high schoolers, and if I had beer and wine, that would cut probably a third of my employees that I have right now.
Okay. And now, so I got a question for you though. Do you allow people to bring in their own wine or alcohol? I mean, beer.
What we don't know we don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm saying
because
we
there,
have the picnic tables out front,
because there are locations in Fairbanks where if you bring your own 6-pack, they're fine with that.
Yeah,
and so that's what I do sometimes.
So since I'm being recorded, I want to start with this. I don't know if that's legal.
Okay.
BYOB. It is in some states. It's not in others.
Okay.
I can't come on here and say, yeah, bring in beer and wine, because if you do and I get arrested, I'm going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think it is allowed, because I have been to places and they said, oh yeah, sure, you can bring a 6-pack.
Yeah, we've never told anybody not to unless they're being belligerent. Like we have had people go to, Fred Meyer's is right next to us, so people will walk over and buy like mixed drinks, those pre-made mixed drinks and stuff, come back and sit at the picnic tables.
Yeah.
And we've only, I think, ever kicked one group out, and that was because they were really obnoxious.
Okay, all right.
You know,
all right.
I'm like, to the point where other people are going, holy smokes, what are these guys doing?
Okay, so technically what you're saying is technically you can enjoy a beer with your pizza
Yeah.
at Hungry Robot.
We just can't sell it to you.
You just can't sell it to us.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. Are you guys listening? I hope you are. Anybody else have any questions, any segues?
Also, I want to ask about the first truck.
The fire truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
Well, it's a 1955 Belgian fire truck. It's the only one in the world. It was hand built in 55 in Belgium in a little tiny town. The Belgian government contracted to some coach builders to build them a fire truck, and that was what they made from scratch. The front end, the very front end, is a Chevrolet COE. But they cut it at the windows, and all the way back was all handmade.
You bought that from Hoodoo, right?
No, I bought that from a Belgian guy off the internet.
Okay, because
Facebook.
I thought that you had bought that one off of Hoodoo.
No, it's not. Hoodoo does German.
Yeah.
They're driving Mercedes. Yeah, mine's a Belgian fire truck. It came from, there was a guy who had a hot rod shop over there called Cobblestone Customs.
Yeah.
He has since sold it to another guy, so now he doesn't do it. But he had bought it, and he was in a contest for SEMA, which is the big car show in Vegas. Mm-hmm. He was in a competition for that rat rod build-off. He had 3 months, I think it was, to build a rat rod from start to finish and show up, and then they would judge him and give somebody a prize.
Yeah.
And so he was driving down the road in Belgium, and that was parked outside of a fire station just saying for sale. And he was like, holy crap, that's cool, I want to buy it. So he bought it. He took it back to his shop. He took all the suspension out and the motor out, and so now underneath it's a Duramax, a 2004 Duramax with a 5-speed Allison transmission, and then it has a 14-bolt Chevy rear end out of an 87 ambulance, so it's a real heavy-duty rear end. And then he put airbags all the way around on it, and then he painted it green, but he used latex house paint. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I had to strip it, because the latex was holding water in and causing rust where there shouldn't have been rust.
Yeah.
So I had to pull all that paint off because it was rotting the metal. But anyway, so it'll drive 90 miles an hour pulling a 8,000 pound oven.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't care. It's a bouncy ride because it's airbags, but it's got so much power, it's ridiculous. And the gas mileage is insane. It's got an 85-gallon tank in it, and I fill it up once a year.
Get out of here.
And I drive it every day I can.
Really?
Yeah, it's getting like 19, 20 miles to the gallon when I'm not pulling anything.
Really?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's an amazing car. I bought it because it's branding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm real big into branding. When I was IT, I wanted to go into advertising, but I never did. So anyway, branding's really big to me, which is also why the robot is on everything, because the robot is the brand.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something unique. The bank, we went through Spirit of Alaska here in town.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, we don't do loans for old cars. And I was like, oh, okay. They were like, you should just get like a Ford E350, like a van. And I'm like, but that's so boring. You show up at a show, people are just going to be like, oh, it's a friggin' Ford van. And they're just going to walk off. I'm like, this is what I want to get. And I send them a picture, and they go, ooh, well, I don't know. We don't do old cars. And they were like, well, we're having a business meeting, so I'll bring it up to the guy, the lead loan officer, and we'll talk about it. They called me the next day, and they were like, the CEO was at the meeting, and he said, we're doing this no matter what. Yeah. And so they were like, we're on board. So they kind of like made it super easy to get, which is also bad because it was like, oh, I was kind of hoping they'd be the last stop to go, no, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, okay, I just can't make it happen. And so we ended up getting it and shipped it over. Well, he shipped it to Vegas. He shipped it somewhere on the East Coast, drove it to Vegas, did the show. And if you know cars, if you're into cars, Chip Foose rode on it because Chip Foose was in front of him, but his car broke.
Yeah.
So they had to push it out of the way, and Chip jumped on the side and rode on the fire truck. So they have a bunch of videos of that.
Yeah.
And after that, he drove it to L.A. and parked it with his friend that does vehicle shipping. Really giant Swedish guy. He was monstrously huge, like super big muscles. Anyway, I flew to LA at like 2 a.m. and that's when I met the Swedish guy, and I was like, holy crap, this guy's huge. I was like, and he was like, yeah, you're gonna drive it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna drive it up the Alcan. And he's like, oh, okay. And so we got it all up and running and filled it with gas, and I've never driven in LA. So I was like, I'm glad it was 2 a.m. Yeah. So we hit the road. There was no traffic because it was 2 a.m. We drove it up to Cassiar, pulling a 20-foot camping trailer.
Oh, wow.
And everybody, everywhere we stopped, they were just like, holy crap, what is this? And I went to Canada during the height of COVID with no passport. They let me into Canada. They let me back into Alaska. I'm just like, I got my driver's license. They're like, go for it.
Did you know that they were going to let you through with no passport?
I had no idea. I figured I'd probably get stuck in Washington.
Yeah.
Did you have the real ID?
Nope.
No.
Just my Alaska driver's license. When I pulled up to Canada, they were like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, it's an old fire truck. And they're like, oh, okay. And they kept asking me all these stories about it. And I'm like, oh, it's just an old fire truck. I got it. It's got a Duramax. It drives fine. They're like, is it going to make it through Canada? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's going to make it through Canada. I just drove from LA, and they were like, okay, well, as long as you have enough money, go ahead.
Yeah.
They're like, you might have trouble getting into Alaska. And so when we hit Alaska, it was like 4:00 a.m. and we pulled up to, the border, and the guy was in there. He's like, what the F is this? And I was like, it's an old fire truck. And so I have to go into the whole story again.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's it for? And I was like, well, I'm from Fairbanks. We own a business, The Hungry Robot. And he goes, oh, I just had lunch here. And I was like, oh,
wow.
cool. And he's like, yeah, go on. And I'm like, sweet. Thank you. Because I was like, I've got an email saying my passport's on its way.
Yeah. I'll be down.
And so he let me back in.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good deal. You got any questions, Alexis?
Not question, but I know we talked about it before we went on. So I just wanted to, if you can just give us a list of those gluten-friendly items that you guys have on your menu.
Oh, gluten-friendly. Pretty much any of our sauces should be gluten-free. We don't like white sauce. When we first started, we were making a roux, so there was flour in it, but we stopped because of gluten allergies. So we're like, well, what if we just cut the flour out? Will it still behave the same way? And it did. So we're just like, okay, no more flour. Crust-wise, we only have the gluten-frees. We only make certain amounts of them every day because we used to make like 30, and it's very expensive ingredients, and we were throwing away like 2/3 of them. Because gluten-free people are sporadic.
Very
Sometimes
sporadic.
you guys are like all hungry the same day, and we're like, holy crap, we made 30 and they're all gone. And other times we'd throw them away because they just would go flat because the yeast would die. We'd throw all 30 away. We wouldn't have sold any for 2-3 days. And so we just were like, okay, we're going to make about 15 a day, see how it goes. And that's we'll make somewhere between 10 and 20 a day.
Okay.
Let's see, toppings wise, basically you want to stay away from the fried chicken. Our shredded chicken is gluten-free. Our sausage is gluten-free. The pepperoni is gluten-free. The cheese is obviously gluten-free. We take precautions when we make the pizzas. So what we do is we have a separate workstation just for the gluten-free toppings, and it has all fresh cutting boards, all that jazz. And when we know a gluten-free is coming up, so whoever's building will tell the cook, they'll be like, hey, you got a gluten-free in the next 3 pizzas. So the cook will clean one oven, they'll sweep it really well with our brushes, and then they'll stop cooking in it. And they'll just go to 1 oven instead of 2. And they'll cook in that other oven with all the regular pizzas, and they'll let the heat kind of cook off and kill anything inside. I had read a study at one point that, and I don't know about the accuracy, I just had read that at 600 degrees, the peptides or whatever that hold gluten together break. and our ovens run at 8. So
wow.
we'll give it a few minutes of just intense
Heat.
freaking heat.
To burn it
And
off.
it seems to be working because we have people with celiacs that are like, I can eat it just fine and have no problem.
Oh, that's great.
And then we'll build, and if you tell us you have celiacs, we'll use all new ingredients when we're scooping sauces and everything.
Okay.
So we'll be as cautious as we can, but we also always tell people it's a pizza place.
Yes.
There is literally flour in the air.
Everywhere.
You can wipe a table, and 5
probably
minutes
flour.
later, it's gritty again, and you're like, nobody's even sat at it.
Yeah.
It just settles.
Yeah.
And so we always tell them there is the risk.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
don't do it unless you're willing to accept that risk. But we do have celiacs that come in pretty regularly, and they eat, and they've never had an outbreak.
Okay.
But we have had other celiacs that said, I had an outbreak. And I'm like, okay, maybe they didn't tell us they were celiac, and so somebody used a ladle that had already been used on another pizza.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no way to track that either. So gluten-free stuff, we don't really... I need to make a list of what ingredients are, but I mean, almost everything we have besides anything that's breaded should be gluten-free. Yeah, I mean, because all the veggies, obviously, they're...
Yeah. No, that's good. That's great to hear.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else, Jeff?
Well, I mean, the fact we haven't mentioned that he was recently mentioned in the top 10 pizza places by Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Wow.
right.
Top
That was
10.
a good day. Well, it was top 6.
Top six.
Well, not look. Okay, the article said 6 iconic pizzerias in
Okay.
America, and the Newsminer ran with 6 top pizzerias.
Same.
So that kind of scares me a little bit, because iconic you can live up to.
Right.
Top is hard. And we literally just got a 1-star last night from a lady who said, with all the hype, I thought it'd be better. And I'm like, that hype is a complete double-edged sword, because you want there to be hype, but then people come in and they expect it to like cure their flu. And you're like, dude, it's pizza.
Yeah.
It's only going to be pizza. And they're like, well, the crust was thin. You're like, but it's
a
wood fired, so it's
specific
always
type of
thin.
Wood-fired pizza, yeah.
They'll come in expecting something that we can't deliver.
Yeah.
And so that hype, I kind of, you like it because it helps build business, but you're also like, it holds us to a standard that it's impossible for an 18-year-old to maintain 24/7. You know,
Right,
you know, because like people will get on me and they're like, every time I eat there, your pizza sucks. And I'm like, okay, well let's run some numbers. On a Friday, a slow Friday is 440 pizzas, and that's a slow day. A good Friday can be 600-700 pizzas.
Oh, wow.
So on a slow Friday, if I get 5 complaints out of 440 pizzas,
That's not bad.
That's
Freaking
less
minimal,
than 1%.
man.
Right? That's less than 1%.
Yes, that just means someone thought there was too much salt. You know, I mean, I think that's a totally acceptable ratio. I'm like, if I've got less than 1% complaints, I feel like we're doing pretty dang good. So if that one person is like, it didn't live up to the hype, I'm like, I think your hype was just way too freaking high.
It lived
Because
up to
I've gone to New York and eaten at places that people are like, this is the best pizza in the world, and I like threw it away.
I've done
I was like,
that
that
too.
was crap. You know,
I've done that too. Either a lobster roll in Maine, or a Chicago pizza in Chicago, or a Chicago dog. I'm like,
the hype can't live up to the expectation.
This is what you guys were.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. There's one restaurant there. I went to New York for that UPS contest. We were in the top 3 of that one, and they flew me to New York, and I ate at 5 different pizzerias. I was there for one night, and I ate at 5 different pizza places, and I was like, okay, it has to be really good for me to commit the space in my stomach.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to another one. Literally, I'm eating and walking to the next stop. So I'm like, if this sucks, I'm not putting it in my stomach because I want to make room for that guy.
Yeah.
So the first one I went to was freaking amazing. I was like, holy crap, that was the best cheese pizza I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I was like, it was good.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sitting next to a table that had Ron Perlman at it, and Cena, not John Cena, the actor, Sarah, Michael Cera, the actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had sit at that same table. So it's a place that's got rep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay, but it wasn't like I wouldn't fly there for it, but it was good. And then I went to one that is consistently in the top 10, and I was like, I wouldn't buy this again.
Right.
So I was like, and I'm not going to say names because I know people will be like, oh, you know.
True.
But
Yeah,
it
you're
just-
just a hater. You're just a hater.
yeah, it wasn't good. I was
Yeah.
like, this does nothing for me. So I threw that slice away and walked back to the first guy and got another slice.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. And that second slice at the first place, just as good as the first slice.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, if I could replicate that. But they're doing New York style, and they're in a gas oven. Wood-fired ovens, every pizza comes out different.
Yeah.
You know, every one, because you have hot spots in the oven. So one spot you'll avoid because you're just like, everything burns there. So I can't cook there for another hour or two until it calms itself down.
Yeah.
But even on these, the same kid cooked them in the same oven, and each one's different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's no way to get exactly the same
Every single
pizza
time.
when you're doing 400 of them in a day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
try to get within 10% of that range or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You want them as close as you can, but
Yeah.
they'll never be identical.
Gotcha. Okay, so I know you've got your main staples, your main go-tos. Now, so are you ever in a mad scientist, always working on your next big pizza
Yeah.
mood
Yeah. That's actually
stage?
that's always been a topic of debate with people at the kitchen too, because I always feel like every special we run has to be the next Dilly Dilly.
Yeah.
Because the Dilly Dilly was a dare.
Yeah.
Somebody just like, I bet you can't make a pickle pizza that's good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Let me try.
Yeah.
And I did. And we sell, it's in our top 5. I mean, we go through, during the summer, we'll go through 50 gallons of pickles a week.
Oh, good. Oh,
Which is
good
a lot
Lord.
of friggin'
50
pickles.
gallons of pickles.
Yeah. Yeah. And we slice them all by hand because I don't like the hamburger cut.
Yeah.
To me, it just looks weird on a pizza, so
Yeah.
we slice them all individually with the machine. I mean, we have to cut them and clean them and everything, then we stick them in a hand slicer and you spin
Yeah.
it. You know, so there's labor involved. And I'm like, dude, if I just bought the hamburger ones, they'd be a ton cheaper, but I don't like the look of it, so I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like the Dilly Dilly was a dare that
Why don't you go
got
to
us on Triple
McDonald's
D.
get their pickle? Because McDonald's gets their pickles. I used to work at McDonald's from my freshman to my senior year, and we used to get those big 5-gallon.
They come in slices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to taste them because that's another thing. Like when I was
Flavor-wise.
talking about cheese, if we change the cheese, people complain. We have had to change
no.
the pickles before. Like we use Vlasic, and we've had to sub in Mount Olive. And holy crap, people get mad. They're just like, that was totally different. And I'm like, but it's the only pickle we can get because the boat didn't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't like it when you change things.
Oh, wow.
can see that.
Okay. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. So people can be fickle.
Oh yeah, pickle with their pickle.
Yeah, fickle with the pickle.
So how much time? Okay. So we got 15 minutes before we have to break down. Anybody else have any questions before we have to get out of here?
When'd you get the Bender robot?
Okay. There's a story about that. I have stories all the time. In high school, I was in Algebra 2 Trig with a friend of mine named Eddie. Back then it was Rojas. Now it's Torres. Eddie Rojas. And he used to draw all the time, and I would talk all the time. And we both got really crappy grades because we talked and drew too much. And he passed, and I did not. So anyway. After graduation, he ended up becoming an animator, and he went to California and worked for DreamWorks. So he worked on The Iron Giant,
Nice.
and he worked on Osmosis Jones and a couple of other movies. And then he went to The Simpsons. And so when we had Sugar Monkey Marshmallows, I asked him, I was like, hey, can you draw me a monkey? And he goes, yeah, sure. And so he gave me a bunch of different monkeys and like mix and match, pick what you like, and I'll make it into one. And so the monkey looked very Simpsons because that was when he was on The Simpsons. And then he went to Futurama, and he was like, I'm going to warn you, you want
Got
a
it.
robot, but I'm drawing a lot of Bender, so it's going to look like Bender. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool. And so he drew like 4 or 5 pages worth of different robots, arms, hands, heads, feet, legs, all these different ones, and just said, pick, and then I'll draw the robot. And so we came up with this guy. And one time in the Fort Wainwright Families group, somebody was like, hey, how was the Hungry Robot? And someone else was like, oh, it's great. And someone's like, why is it the robot? And this one guy goes, I always like to think of it like Bender's hillbilly cousin because he looks kind of like Bender. And so I got on there and I go, actually, it is kind of Bender's hillbilly
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
He's a wood-fired robot.
Yeah.
You know, so he is kind of like a redneck in the future world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I told him the story. You know, it was a guy that drew Bender, drew
That's
this
great.
robot, and he's like, holy crap.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
damn.
Yeah.
Okay, now so you're getting ready to head out to the 20th anniversary of Chicken Stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember a couple of years ago when you had that breakdown. Are you ready and prepared?
Oh, I don't drive the fire truck anymore.
Oh, you don't drive it anymore?
Not on long distances.
Okay.
I have a guy who wants to redo. So when the dude in Belgium did the lowering, he went with a 4-link and a panhard bar. So when I raise it, everything, all the weight is on one bolt.
Because of the panhard
Yeah, it'll
bar.
shift. When I lower it, it'll shift over. The rear end shifts over like 1.5 inches.
Yeah, my
So
Lolo
the
does the same thing.
Yeah, but all the weight of that truck is on that one bolt.
Ooh.
And even though it's a grade 8 super heavy duty bolt,
Yeah.
that's like 20,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So what happened is down by Harding Lake, there's some washboard, I think.
Yeah.
And I was driving through that too fast. I was driving too fast. I
Yeah.
should have been going slower. And it just started bouncing, and that's 20,000 pounds. And so it snapped that bolt, just sheared it right off.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I ended up stuck. Well, the truck ended up stuck. There was an Air Force guy who lived probably about half a mile down the road from where it broke. And he goes, "You can park it in my driveway." And so he let me nurse it to his house and park it there for a week while I waited. Because since it was from Belgium, it was a non-standard part. It was a different size, and it was a left-hand thread instead of a right-hand thread or whatever. It was the opposite of what normal. And so I had to go to a trailer shop, and they had to special order it.
All right.
So I had them order extras because it's the second time it broke.
Yeah.
And so I now carry spares in the truck. But the kid that helped me fix it, the guy, I say kid, he's my age, sorry, the guy that helped me fix it, he's a heavy duty mechanic.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I would not take this again until we redo the rear end." He goes, "I don't like that bar." He's
Yeah.
like, "I want to make it something different." And so he's got ideas, but we have
Yeah.
to find a shop.
Yeah, there's a kit. There's a kit I'm gonna buy from my Impala, and it actually removes the panhard bar. And so when I raise and lower it, it stays straight. It stays
yeah.
straight. Yeah. But I'm gonna do the work myself. I just got to get around to it.
Oh, I can't. I don't know how to weld. And he's like, "We have to take
YouTube,
the whole
sir.
thing apart." It's a 20,000 pound vehicle.
Yeah, no doubt,
That I
no
pull a $40,000 oven.
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
So I'm like, I'm not
Exactly.
gonna glue it.
Exactly.
I'm hiring somebody that
Yeah.
knows
Someone
what they're
certified.
doing. Yes.
So, yeah.
And he was like, "Find
bonded and insured."
Yeah.
And that's the phrase. Every time somebody asks for somebody that can do something in the Fairbanks page, I need a license, bonded and insured.
Yeah.
And I understand why now.
Yeah.
I understand why.
And that thing, it weighs so much, and it's a one-off. You know, it's literally the only one in the world. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel a responsibility. Like, everybody wants me to leave it rusty,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I can't
looks
because
nice.
it's rusting.
Yeah.
You know, there's getting
Yes.
holes in it, so
Okay.
I need to strip it down, repair that,
But can
and then
you?
prime it.
But can you just, because we like to use the word patina. Everybody throws that word around now, patina. But like, you could
Fake
do
it.
a clear coat over it, right? And it would no longer.
Right. I still need to repair the holes that are on it.
Oh, okay.
So my plan, I've got a friend who works on airplanes. Right now he's doing a B-17 bomber.
You should let me drive it to
And-
work one day. We could trade like you drive the Lolo and I
Yeah,
drive your old
drive the fire
school
truck.
and to work one day, and I just leave it parked outside my building.
It gets really hot because you're sitting on top of the motor.
Oh,
So you're like, "Ooh, it gets,
no
it gets
doubt.
sweaty." It has air conditioning.
Yeah,
So the guy's
yeah.
like, "It's got air conditioning." So I turn it on, and it turns out the vent is aimed at the door.
Yeah. Oh,
So you get it on your arm. You're like, but everything else is like,
it's just burning up.
yeah,
It's
like it's so hot in here.
Guys, okay, so we got a couple minutes before we got to break down. One last question. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Any last questions? Nope.
no, I think.
Okay, so are you ready for the finale?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fairbanks, North Star Borough. Thank you for tuning in for this another amazing episode. Oh, I'm gonna cut that out. Oops, cut that out. So let me go back.
I'm gonna restart.
Okay, ready?
Okay, got it.
All right. Fairbanks, North Star Borough. Thank you guys for joining us for another enlightening episode of 36 the Podcast with Mr. Randy Bezdek of Hungry Robots and a Hungry Robot Pizza, and Sergeant First Class Alexis James of the 11th Airborne Division
Yes.
Innovations
Yes.
team.
Innovations Department.
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was
Not a
great.
problem. And we'll have to do this again sometimes. Well, when we get the questions okayed for your segment, then we'll have you back as the guest.
Absolutely.
Okay. So on that note, my name is Tilden,
Jeff.
I'm Alexis.
And I'm Randy.
and this was 36 the Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us.
It's
We
36,
are out.
the podcast.
Peace.
Podcast 36.